as an expert in this area, how best do you think that Africa can actually, you know, achieve integration if Africa must grow its economy?
When you are talking of integration, you are talking of economic cooperation in the area of transportation, telecommunication, and all that. But we have to be very honest with ourselves that West Africa is the least developed sub-region in the world. If you look at the European Union, trade among the European Union is between 60 and 70%. In Africa, in America, is about 40%. In the Far East, you know, a lot of export is done there, and which we take here as import. It's about 30%. In the continent of Africa, with 32 different currencies, it's only 12%. Why in West Africa, it's only 5%. We are not considering smuggling, because some of the agreement we have entered into has put this sub-region into this mess. When you talk of free movement of goods and services, unprocessed goods are free to circulate freely. When the Ghanaians redominated their cedi, it now became cheaper for them to cross over and buy your cocoa, your shea butter, and yam. That is why today you say you have Ghanaian yam in America. This is the problem we have caused for ourselves. Then, if you look at the Francophone, the Naira was exchanging at 1,000 CFA to 1 Naira years back. Even while I was in the university, it was less than 500 to 1. Then today is 1 to 1. So if you take your currency in Benin Republic, you cross over to Ogun State, what you cannot get for 10 Naira in that place, you get it cheaper here. So when you now talk of social infrastructure, what has happened to the Senegal-Lagos Express is still on the drawing board. In West Africa, how many countries in West Africa has national airline? Ethiopia Airline can compete with any part of the world. South African Airline, Air Maroc, and all that. What of Emirates, which is not even part of this sub-region? In 1985, they had only 2 borrowed or higher aircraft. Today, they have 257. So if you look at it, Ghana got independence in 1957. They now abandoned the West African line, introduced what we call the Black Star. We have the NNSA, we have Nigerian Airways. You are talking of integration. How do you move without this social infrastructure? It is easier to bring a container from Europe, from America, from China, even to move goods to Cotonou, which is 100 kilometers. Because by the time a ship is coming, carrying about 1,000 containers, you pay for the cost of bringing the containers to Nigeria and pay for empty containers. That is why we are saying that if you look at shea butter, a container load is more than 20 million. Yam is more than 20 million. Cocoa is more than 20 million. There must be backward integration and import substitution for us to compete. The railway lines we have in West Africa, the Anglophone does not collect the Francophone. Railway was introduced in Lagos in 1898, got to Abeokuta in 1905. Then to Ibese area, that of Benin Republic is only less than 10-20 kilometers apart. For 107 years, we have not been able to connect. The one in Ghana is from Tema to Koforidua, Kumasi to Takoradi. It does not connect Bogatanga and all that. The one from Côte d'Ivoire runs to the north because it's a Francophone arrangement, connect Bobo Dalasso from there to Ouaga. The one from Senegal, 2 tiers, ended in Bamako. And the agreement again is that we should extend the one in Benin Republic from Parakou to Niger Republic. What we were told is that the Anglophone is on 3.5, while the Francophone is on 3. So there are so many things we have to look at. There. When you now talk of business in West Africa, are we ready for the business? In the sense that the Francophone have another body, what is called the Lioma, not the BCL using the Francophone currency, which is called the CFA. Doing business between Francophone and Anglophone is import and export. Unlike Europe, where borders have been reduced to mere bus stops, not even checkpoints. Because if you now buy things from Ghana, you have to go through the clearing system. But a Beninois or a Nigerian coming to Benin does not need a passport. He does not need a visa. He does not need yellow vaccination. He has to move. The only thing, he will not enter Ghana from Togo, Burkina, Mali to Senegal. Then you now talk of integration. In 1992, the Lioma was formed. And that was the same year the Francophone currency, the CFA, was devalued. First by 40%, by 20%. And the people of Niger Republic in Difa said they are going to up to the Naira. If we're able to manage the Naira very well, it could have been a different story. The truth of the matter is that Ghana and Nigeria did not devalue currency the same day. Sierra Leone and Gambia will not devalue currency the same day. Why is it that France took the decision to devalue one currency, affected about 9 West African countries in one day? It's a clear indication that we are still tied to the apron string of the Western world.
All right. So where are we in terms of the free trade zone, the Continental Free Trade Zone? It's going to be a very big disadvantage. In Nigeria, what are we producing? Close to 90% of our revenue comes from oil. In Benin Republic, close to 90% comes from import duty. In Europe, what do they have? They are working together, the same trade laws, like the Francophone. In West and Central Africa, the 26 Francophone countries have the same trade laws, based on what the picture I have painted. But here, if you are talking of Continental Free Trade Area, will you tell Benin to open their border? Because if you are even talking of agreement, integration, there's what we call PTA, Preferential Trade Area, where little or no duty is charged. Free trade area, a common external tariff. When you say common external tariff, you already have a custom union. We don't have a custom union in West Africa. What we have is just a sub-region. Then when you now talk of common market, you are talking of movement of factors of production, that I can go to Ghana and work. But is that possible? So the issue now is that with all this alignment, VAT in Nigeria is 5%. VAT in Benin Republic is 18 plus 2%, making 20%. We are talking of smuggling, we are talking of commodity shunting, we are talking of great trade. These are some of the things. Then VAT in Ghana started with 12%. Today, VAT in Ghana is 15% plus 2.5% because of the health issue which is attached to her. You have to pay 17.5%. So then the other countries is about 12 to 15%. So this alignment, what are we talking about? Continental free trade area. Does it mean that we are still far away from achieving
this? We are far away from integration. Let us look at the European market. If you take off from here, you are going to France. You land in Charles de Gaulle, the international airport. But if you are flying from there to Belgium or to the Netherlands or to this thing, it's a local flight. But if you fly from here to Accra, you land in Kotoka, which is international. If you are taking off, you're going to Sierra Leone, you all the ceremony. For instance, this is the ECOWAS passport. If I have to travel from Lagos to Dakar by road, tomorrow I have to get another one. What is the essence of leaving Lagos that I begin to stamp at every border when you now say there's free movement of goods and services? This agreement was signed in Dakar in 1991. 1991 to the present day, how many years? 20-something years. What have we achieved? Even at the ECOWAS level that we are looking at West Africa. Look at the SADC region. In the Southern African, things are well developed. Look at the East Africa, it's equally well developed. In West Africa, we have a long way to go.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Isemede. Quite a lot to talk about, and we can say we really have a long way to go, but we'll continue to talk about it. Well, that was Mr. John Isemede, expert in trade.